Hello everyone, and welcome back to an MSM Composer discussion video. So this one's going to be very different, clearly because I'm here today rather than having like MSM gameplay on screen. So I wanted to make a video about the MSM Karaoke game that's going to be coming out, because I feel like if we're lucky, this could be a huge teaser to what we could expect to get in a future MSM Composer update. There's a lot of things after I look through it that this could be teasing, and it's really wild to me. So let's get into some of the things that I found in the trailer and the Steam page. So first things first, diving into the trailer, I picked up that they were using a lot of the MSM Composer sounds to recreate that on one like song. I don't know the name of it, but that does the da da la la da. You know that song if you have been on the internet. But yeah, I heard them use some of the MSM Composer sounds in that trailer, which I found really interesting. The ones I heard, I might have missed one or two, but the ones that I definitely heard were Socks, Mayemit, Pom Pom, and Brat, Sponge, Furcorn, and Toejamer. We'll get to BB No Money later, but I heard all of those. I feel like that's pretty big if they're using composer sounds for this game. Like if they're going to be using MSM Composer like chromatic scales to have the monsters sing like these parts in the karaoke game, I feel like hopefully that would encourage them to maybe add more sound to the composer app so that they can in turn use it for the karaoke game. I don't know, that's mostly wishful thinking, but I think it's very important to note that they did use MSM Composer sounds in the trailer for it, so that's something to point out. Speaking of which, like I said, BB No Money or Blizzard, they had their sound revealed in this trailer, which I think is one of the biggest things that this teaser showed us. The best way I can describe his sound is like, he sounds like Potbelly if he had like held notes, so he sounds kind of dorky. I guess it works. I don't know if I'd use that sound, saying that it is a MSM Composer sound, but I just found that very interesting that they did tease Blizzard's sound in this trailer if it does actually become an MSM Composer sound that they use, or an MSM Composer Monster Edition. So with that being said, I mean, I'll talk about like all the new classes that'll get added, but I'd like to think that if Blizzard does get added, that means other legendaries are gonna get added, who knows. Before we get to all that stuff, something else I wanted to talk about was something that I noticed is that they used the old MSM Composer font in the trailer and in some of the screenshots on the Steam page for the game. So I found that very, very interesting. I don't know what that means, but it's very odd. I thought they've been trying to use the Open Dyslexic font for all their stuff, so I don't know why they're using the old MSM Composer font, but either way, I do feel like that kind of intertwines the two apps together, you know, like even more. So I found that very unusual, very peculiar, but it could mean something. And going off of this like kind of confusing like connection, this is my most speculative thing here, but I found in one of the like teaser screenshots on the Steam page for the karaoke game, there was like an import songs thing on like the song select screen for it. So I was wondering if you could like, I think it would be really crazy if you could like make a song in MSM Composer and get the MSM file and then send it over to the karaoke game. I don't know how that would work because obviously MSM Karaoke is on PC, while MSM Composer is only on mobile, so I don't know how that would work, so it might not be that. That's just me speculating. But I mean, I personally can do that because I can like airdrop MSM files to my laptop, and it works just fine, so I don't know if that's what they'd expect you to do, but it could mean something. I don't know. This was my most speculative thing of this video, I feel like. So, just a side thought. But going off of this, I mentioned how the old MSM Composer font was used, but something else that they used from MSM Composer was the title background, the thing that you see when you first boot up the MSM Composer app. That whole like thing with like the staff flowing through the background and all the music notes and eggs and stuff. I saw that in some of the screenshots, as you can see on screen right now. They decided to use that background for some of the teaser images. I think that's what it was. So I find that very interesting. I don't want to say that they're being lazy and just reusing assets that they already made, but I'd like to hope that that's not the case and that it actually means something other than them just reusing things they have at their disposal, per se. So I hope it does mean something, but we don't know. That's just another very interesting coincidence if it's just a whoopsie daisy. They just used it because it looks good or whatever. Another random thought, but slide notes are a very prevalent part of MSM Karaoke, as it seems, because it takes a lot of inspiration from Trombone Champ or whatever that game is called, because you're trying to slide up to the pitch. So I think that could mean maybe slide notes in MSM Composer, probably not, but at the very least it means that they know how to do slide notes with what they have if they are actually using MSM Composer sound fonts and using them to slide into notes in MSM Karaoke. That means they know how to make those notes slide, but they just need to find a way to implement that in a way where we as the users of MSM Composer can make those notes slide manually. So I don't know how that would work, but at the very least we know that they're capable of making these sounds slide pitch. So I think that's a pretty notable thing. Now this is the big part of the video that some of you probably have been waiting for me to talk about, but the biggest thing that we've seen is that they have some fire monsters, some rare vocalists, and obviously Blizzard present within this app. Like I said about Blizzard earlier, we heard his sound, and that could mean maybe we get legendaries in MSM Composer. If they're getting their own sounds, it could be a possibility. I know it's a whole thing with legal stuff, but it could happen. Like the Wordos, I don't know how they do the Wordos because they're lyric monsters, but who cares, I guess. Obviously the Sugar Fam might be legal issues there. I don't know. Like, my biggest thing with these legal agreements is that I don't know what exactly they can and cannot do. Like, I've been trying to understand that for the Sugar Fam, because like how I see it is that Big Blue Bubble wouldn't be allowed to change the song of like Sugar Bush Island because it's based off of Lover Money, which obviously Christian owns and has legal control over. But like, I've always wondered, does he have control over the Sugar Fame getting costumes or rarities? Like, I don't know how much the legal agreement covers. Like, I don't know if he was like, no, you cannot change the design we agreed upon. Because if you didn't know, especially Sugar Bush, the designs are heavily based upon the likeness of Christian Bush. So I don't know if it's like, I don't know if that's like protected by the legal agreement too, where they can't like mess with the design. So all that being said, I don't know if there would be something that prevents monsters like the Sugar Bush and the Sugar Fam or T Piranha. Like, I don't know if there's things that would protect them legally and make it so that they can't be added to another game like MSM Composer or MSM Karaoke. Obviously BB No Money, Blizzard's, T made it into MSM Karaoke, but probably because they're on close terms with BB No Money, probably. I don't know if that's the same case for T-Pain or Christian Bush. I mean, obviously the other year they were in contact with Christian Bush for the creator calls that they did. So I'd assume that they still have contact with him. So if they do want to do something like this that requires them to kind of like bounce around the legal agreements, then they probably could if they talk with them. So yeah, but all that being said, like, I think it could be a possibility. It would be really cool if they did, because I mean, not to be Mr. I love Sugar Fam, but like, the Sugar Fam has so many sounds, dude, that could help so much. Sugar Beats obviously has a drum kit. There's a whole bunch of guitars. Sugar Vox is a vocalist. We'd get so many new sounds that they don't have, like the banjo, a new electric guitar which could go really hard, some Casio guitar, I don't know what Jugabuzz plays, but whatever, an acoustic guitar, a mandolin, you get it, like a lot of sounds. I mean, obviously all the other legendaries are like vocals, so it's not as exciting, but all that to be said, I think if BB No Money Blizzard got added to karaoke, that means they're open to giving legendaries scales that could be used in both the karaoke and in MSM Composer as well, because it seems that they both use the same chromatic scales and stuff to do all that, so that's very interesting. But the legendaries are not the only class that were teased in the trailer or in the Steam page, because we also got, well, I guess I already told you this, I forgot because I was yapping so much, but we also got the Fires and Rare Vocalists. So I'll have some images up on screen, but we can see Fangler and Flower on screen in one of the screenshots, so maybe we'll get fire monsters. I know you all have been very, very vocal about getting fire monsters in the app because they're another pretty big class and they're kind of loosely part of the natural class, so it's like it only makes sense, is the whole thing. So maybe we could expect that, maybe that'll happen because we do see 2 fire monsters there, but we see even more rare monsters, which is kind of crazy to me. So as you can see on the screen right now, we see various rare monsters. Oh, and something I didn't even see before, we have a rare socks. So rare ethereals, I know I want rare ethereals so bad. Let me talk about the rare vocalists first before I go on more rambles. So we have rare Entbrat, rare Furcorn, rare Mammoth, rare Pom Pom, and rare Toe Jammer. So this is a pretty big loadout. If you don't know, we already have Rare Shrub, who is categorized as a vocalist already. So they're the only rare vocalist, so I feel like it only makes sense that a day comes where I get all the rare vocalists, because, I mean, it just feels right. So hopefully this does mean that we could expect new rare vocalists. I don't know what MSM Karaoke would do with the rare monsters, if they're just a cosmetic thing where it's like the same sound but just different character via rarity. So I don't know if it's like just a different look or if it actually brings a new sound. So obviously I'd hope that it brings a new sound. If you saw my speculation for rare vocalists, you know that I was like kind of unsure how they would do it, but I was assuming that they do like some sort of like different syllable. Who knows? Like for example, since some of them are here, I think for Entbrat I said how he has like a very soft voice on Cloud Island, so you could have a softer tone on Composer Island, or Composer app, my bad. Furcorn, I don't think I had any ideas for them. Mammoth could do a different syllable because they're on a lot of islands and do a lot of things other than boom. But you get the idea, like different tone, same voice actor, or different syllable, same voice actor, same difference, but things like that that slightly alter the voice without going away from the actual voice, you know. But like I said, I just realized this just now, but we have rare socks, which is huge because we don't have the rare ethereals yet. We have all the other rare instrumentalists, but we don't have rare seasonals, rare ethereals. We don't even have all the ethereals, so it's a whole thing. You can also see my speculations for the rare ethereals. I probably put it in the top corner, whichever corner it is in. I don't remember, I'm bad at remembering things like that, but the potential for the rare ethereals could be just ginormous. I'd be so hyped to just have more sounds that hopefully, praise be to God, are actually good and could make composing so much easier. Yeah, I just feel like we're getting a glimpse of hope, but it could very easily be just yanked away if this is all incorrect. But it has potential because, like I said, we've already heard his like chromatic sound, or whatever you want to call it, in MSM Karaoke in its trailer. So it could mean that we're getting new sounds for all the monsters that have already been teased here, and this might not be even all the monsters, you know? There might be more monsters we haven't seen in MSM Karaoke, and oh man, this could be really cool. yeah. If anything, even if it's just rare vocalist, I'd be happy with that at the end of the day. As for when we could expect this, when I was checking out the Steam page for MSM Karaoke, it says it has a release date of August 2026, so next month. I don't know when in August, hopefully near the beginning of the month, but we don't know. This could be huge. We just have to wait another month. Okay, man, this could go crazy. I just don't know what to expect. But this could also be a really big letdown if we're hyping each other up for something that's not even gonna happen. But hopefully the monster handlers have heard our cries, because I've seen so many people in their comment sections on like Instagram and YouTube, mainly those two. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know if people are going crazy there too, but those two, I see people begging for an MSM Composer update for it's been so long, man. I think the last big update we got was around this time last year, well, like last month that is, with the extended song length, which was huge. I forget if anything else was in that like mini update, but honestly just getting new monsters would be ginormous. It would be that would be so surreal, bro. Since we haven't gotten monsters since the dreaded seasonals, it's just it's been so long. It's been 4 years, man, because the seasonal came out in 2022. 4 years, dude. 4 years. Goodness gracious. But here we are. Man, okay. I just really do hope this leads to something. Who knows? Who frickin' knows, man? But yeah, these are just some of the things I picked up on when I was trying to look deeply into the trailer and the teaser screenshots that they gave us on Steam. So this could be huge, but like what I said, we just have to wait until August to see what happens, because I feel like that's when things will really start to happen. So gotta hope for the best. Let me know what you all think in the comments below, because maybe I missed something. I don't know, but with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this very rambly video. But here we are. I'm just really hyped for a possible MSM Composer update. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye.